So, as I said, we many times plan some things with the impure mind, right? And you really wonder what the plans are all about. So sometimes it's just nice to cut to the chase and say what it is, right? So I'm not saying that the planning is useless, but I'm hoping that maybe this different approach might benefit you. Okay? And so I'm going to narrate something which might take some time. And I'm going to basically tell you what I think, all that I know about Yoga DhyAnam, and what it culminates in. Okay? So bear with me. At the end of it, then we'll, of course, go to questions and things like that. So, if any human being decides to wake up every morning about an hour before sunrise in the period called Brahma Muhurtam, and then on waking up stretches the limbs and relaxes the muscles that might have tensed over sleep, and gently activates the prana, so that when those limbs are arranged in meditation, there will be no disturbance from the body. And if this person then proceeds to cleanse themselves in whatever form they deem appropriate, probably including some of the practices called shaucha in yoga, including probably neti, cleansing of the nostrils, and partaking warm water, ushnapanam, and having completed these cleansing activities, having limbered up the body lightly, this person may sit in meditation. The posture assumed is called asana. It should be comfortable so that the person may sit for some length of time without disturbance from the body. The head, neck, and trunk should be aligned in a straight line. Having sat in this posture, taken a few long breaths, then commences sankalpam, the dedication to practice and the dedication to remain focused in that practice, even though thoughts from the body and the mind will and may disturb. This sankalpam will draw the aspirant back to the focus of meditation. Following the sankalpam, the aspirant may draw a long breath inward, mentally recollecting that this body is composed of nothing but the 5 sheaths, and thinking of Prithvi, earth, apaha, watery essence, Agni, Vayu, Akasha, drawing inward further, Prana, inward further, Antahkarana, the mind and the internal instrument, to Atman. That is the in-breath. On the out-breath, the aspirant will proceed further again outward from Atman, Antahkarana, Prana, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, reaching now the periphery of the external body. Again now penetrating the external world, Prithvi, Apaha, Agni, Vayu, Akasha, Hiranyagarbha, Mahat, Brahman. This breathing serves to establish that there are many sheaths that obstruct the identification of the true self Atman from Brahman. This practice, repeated 4 times, serves to establish the purpose of meditation. Following this, simplifying further, the breath is drawn again, and now recognizing that all the sheaths beginning from Prithvi, ending up to the Antakarana, are composed of nothing but the 3 gunas, drawing again inward from the gross into the subtle, tamas, rajas, sattva, Atman, that stands beyond the 3 gunas. Exhaling again, sattva, rajas, tamas, reaching the periphery of the body, penetrating the external world, tamas, rajas, sattva to Brahman. This exercise is again conducted 3 to 4 times as per the inclination of the aspirant on that particular meditation practice. Then further simplifying, tamas, rajas, sattva collectively are avidya or ignorance, the deep spiritual ignorance of the causal body. Again drawing inward, 1 long breath, avidya, Atman, exhaling, avidya, maya, which is the manifestation of the world through sattva, rajas, tamas, which is perceived imperfectly, culminating in Brahman. Avidya, Atman, avidya, maya, Brahman. In this way, the aspirant proceeds to stabilize and simplify the entire meditational exercise. Then, invoking the Guru, through perhaps a shlokam such as Guru Brahma, etc., having through the long effort of sustained practice been blessed with the grace of having the direct perception of the power of Brahma, who is Guru, having experienced the meaning of the fact that Vishnu is Guru, when Vishnu, as Sri Krishna says, he is both the Kshetra and the Kshetragya, the field and the knower of the field, recognizing then that there is no place for the aspirant to have a sense of I when Vishnu has pervaded both the field and the field knower, recognizing there is no place to stand, and realizing that that is the meaning of the Bali story, when Vishnu had no place but to put his foot on his head, and thereby destroying the false notion of I. Through the dint of practice, having gained an experience that Shiva also says that a part of me resides in you, having firm faith that Guru comes in these 3 manifestations, and that Guru is also the Sakshat Parabrahman, invoking again the corporeal form of Guru as Sri Adi Shankaracharya, or any other Guru who of equal stature may be chosen by the aspirant, recognizing that that Guru being the embodiment of Brahman, is also identical with Brahma, with Vishnu, with Shiva, and with the Nirguna Sakshat Parabrahman. Repeating the mantra for the third time, recognizing Aham Guru Brahma, that I will merge in the Guru, will merge in Brahma, that I will merge in the Guru, will merge in Vishnu, that I will merge in the Guru, will merge into Shiva, that I will merge into the Guru, who is none other than the Sakshat Parabrahman. Completing the Guru DhyAnam and thereby fixing one's resolve again, the aspirant may proceed to begin the practice of pranayama. Pranayama will be practiced to stimulate the prana, but well under control so as to not overstimulate it. It may begin with a deep, long breath, and now thinking as one counts by fours, descending from the Vishuddhi Chakra down towards the Mooladhara. In every four is counted Avidya Atman, Avidya Atman, Avidya Atman, Avidya Atman, so forth. Going in fours to a count of 16, one will fill the entire spinal column with breath in the process called Puraka. Concluding the Puraka, the Jalandhara and Mooladhara bandhas will be applied and the entire spinal column filled with air and retained, and will be felt the coursing of the prana upward from the Mooladhara to the Vishuddhi Chakra, again in fours, recognizing Avidya, Atman, Avidya, Atman, so forth. At the conclusion of 16 counts, the entire breath will now be expelled in the process called Rechaka, where again, now thinking Maya, Brahman, Maya, Brahman, iti, counting in fours, beginning from the Mooladhara, ascending through the chakras up to Vishuddhi Chakra to the count of 16, proceeding further up through the Lalata Chakra and to the Agya Chakra, Guru Chakra and Sahasrara to complete the 32. Then applying Bahya Kumbhaka with Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha, again mentally counting in up to 8 with the memory Maya, Brahman, Maya, Brahman. In this way, the central nadi or sushumna is activated, it is refreshed, and the mind is made prepared for meditation. Having performed this sequence of breathing for as many times as the aspirant feels is necessary on that day to activate the sushumna, the next pranayama exercise may be one of Kapalabhati. In this, the prana will be expelled systematically, relatively vigorously, but not out of control, in such a way as to cleanse the chakras of any impurities that may have accumulated since the last meditation. Again, this will be done by breathing out in counts of fours, with the beginning chakra being the Mooladhara, proceeding upwards to Swadhisthana, then upwards to Manipuraka, and then alternatively skipping Manipuraka and Anahata, culminating in Vishuddhi Chakra. This way the entire spinal column is cleansed and Sushumna is now active with prana, and then one may proceed to the next pranayama. This pranayama might be Agni Prashana, which is a somewhat again vigorous pranayama, so as to completely now stimulate Kundalini and have her active in the central channel, so that Mahadevi may give her blessings, for everything is indeed due to her alone. Agni Prashana may be done again in counts of 4 up to 108, which is a good sacred number of counts, or multiples thereof, 216 or 324, with the focus being at the junction of prana and apana in the Manipuraka chakra, where alternatingly the breath is withdrawn and expelled in such a way to mimic the rubbing of the Arani sticks when the fire, the sacrificial fire in the yajna is to be commenced. This is the true meaning of kindling the fire in the yajnashala. The yajnashala being the human body, the prana and apana being the Arani sticks. When the friction raises the spark and Agni is kindled in the Manipura, in the Manipuraka chakra, and Ma Kundalini rises in her full glory. Now, having finished that pranayama, one may proceed to Bhuta Shuddhi, which is done through an alternate breathing exercise, Pingala and Ida alternating, starting with the Surya Nadi, Pingala on the right. Breath will be drawn slowly, proceeding in the helical swirls down through the chakras, and remembering that the purpose of the Bhuta Shuddhi is first to be aware of one's action organs. These action organs being, in descending order as we inhale, Vach, Panau, Padau, Upastha, Payoho. Those being the speech, the arms, the legs, the organ of procreation, and the organ of excretion. Having completed the inhalation by proceeding downward through the chakras, one will apply Antara Kumbhaka through Jalandhara and Moola Bandha, restraining the breath inside and counting up to 8 counts. Then releasing the breath through the Ida Nadi, or the left lunar channel. One will then recognize that these action organs that we thought belonged to us are actually under the power of certain deities. These deities being, now in ascending order, going up through the chakras, Mrityu being the Adhisthana Devata of Payoho, Prajapati, the deity of Upastha, of procreation, Vishnu, the deity of locomotion through the legs, Indra, the deity of the motion of hands, Vahni, fire, the deity of speech. These deities, merely being powers and modifications of Mahadevi Kundalini Shakti, will be recognized as the gods. The gods are the powers that govern the organs. Now doing this again through inhalation from the Ida Nadi, completing Antara Kumbhaka, exhalation through Surya Nadi, completing Vakya Kumbhaka for 8 counts, completes the tour of the organs of action. Now begins an inward journey to the organs of sense, Jnanendriyas. Inhaling again through the solar channel, recognizing that the first sense organ, coming down through the chakras, is Shrotram, descending further, Tvacha, descending further, Netre, descending further, Grane, Jikhve Grane. These sense organs being coming down through the chakras, corresponding to hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell. Completing this inhalation, retaining Antara Kumbhaka for 8 counts, one will then exhale through the left Chandranadi, again invoking the Adhisthana Devatas who correspond to these inner sense organs. They being Ashvinau, who govern Grane, Varuna, who governs Jihva, Surya, who governs the Netre, Vayu, who governs Tvacha, Dik Devata, the gods of the directions who govern Shrotram, the ability to hear. Again holding Bahya Kumbhaka for 8 counts, then repeating, inhaling through the Chandranadi, down through the chakras, restraining, exhaling, remembering the inner sense organs and their deities, completes the practice of Nadi Shodhanam. Now the nadis are cleansed. Now may begin the final aspect of Bhuta Shuddhi, again doing the alternating Surya and Chandranadi, but now recognizing that these organs themselves are constructed out of something called tanmatras. And these tanmatras, descending through the chakras, are nothing but Shabda tanmatra, Sparsha tanmatra, Rupa tanmatra, Rasa tanmatra, Gandha tanmatra. These tanmatras, themselves composed of the gunas, are what enable us to perceive the objects of sense. Those objects of sense will be mentally recollected when doing the exhalation through the Chandranadi, going up through the chakras, being Prithvi, Apaha, Agni, Vayu, Akasha. Thus recognizing that the entire process of sense perception is composed of the gunas on one side, which give us the tanmatras, and gunas on the other side that compose the objects of sense, the aspirant will recognize the futility of assigning any reality to sense perception. Completing the Bhuta Shuddhi, now the aspirant will begin chakra meditation in order to begin the process of DhyAnam. In this chakra meditation, proceeding from the lowest chakra rising up to the Vishuddhi, starting from Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, remembering the Bija mantras taught by Guru, one will invoke progressively again the action organ at the Mooladhara, Payoho. Memorize that for 4 counts. At this point, breathing is not in the stream of focus at all, but only the pulsation of Kundalini is felt at every chakra. For 4 counts, remember Payo, the organ of excretion. For 4 counts, remember its Adhisthana Devata, Mrityu. For 4 counts, remember Idam na mama. This is not mine. Ascending to the next chakra, bring into the mental field the organ of procreation, Upastha, its Adhisthana Devata for 4 counts, Prajapati, and 4 counts, Idam na mama, this is not mine. In this way, proceeding up to the Vishuddhi Chakra, the organs of action are seen for what they are, and their false association with I is discarded. Then in the next step of the exercise, beginning again with the Mooladhara Chakra, the organs of sense are brought into the mind field, they being Ghrane, Jihve, Netre, Tvacha, Shrotram. Again, to each of them, for 4 counts, the Devata associated is brought into the mind field. For Ghrane, it being the Ashvinau, Devata. And again for 4 counts, mentally is brought into the picture, Idam na mama. This is not mine. This is not me. Finally, repeating again the connection between the Tanmatras and the Bhutas, beginning from the Mooladhara Chakra, is brought into the mind field. The fact that these subtle Tanmatras, which constitute the sense organs, and also which are composed of the same guna proportion that the external sense objects are also composed of, thereby enabling sense experience, one will mentally remember Gandha Tanmatra, Prithvi, Idam Namama, this is not mine. Having completed the Bhuta Shuddhi, by now having reached the Vishuddhi Chakra, where even the subtlest Tanmatra of Shabda, who manifests through Akasha, through the process of distance, separation, space, when even this is not mine, then consciousness ascends up through the Vishuddhi Chakra and is brought to rest at the Ajna Chakra. Now the process of meditation begins. At the Ajna Chakra, the Antakarana, inner instrument, is recognized to be composed of 4 faculties: Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. Manas, the importer and exporter, is governed by Chandrama. Again on 4 counts with the pulsation of Kundalini is counted and recollected in the mind the faculty of Manas. Its Adhisthana Devata Chandrama. And for 4 counts, its capacity of Sankalpa Vikalpa. And then is recollected how the mind, through the action organs and through the sense organs, which we have already remembered, they will be remembered in sequence again, to remind ourselves that the mind is nothing but an importer and exporter of sensations. This Manas, Idam Namam. Then is brought up the Buddhi, the finer aspect of mind that is capable of observing in a detached fashion the entire functioning of the mind. The vantage point from which meditation is at all possible is Sattvic Buddhi. The Adhisthana Devata of Buddhi is Brahma. He will be remembered for 4 counts. And Buddhi has in it the internal sense organs at a highly refined perception. Again, these organs of sense will be recollected, and again, Idam Namama. The Buddhi will be discarded. Then in sequence comes Antakarana. Of the Antakarana comes Ahamkara, the I maker. Aham karomi iti ahankara. The Adhisthana Devata Ahankara is Ma Shakti. When the Mudha, the foolish, stupid aspirant of impure mind thinks I do, when in fact it is only Ma Shakti who does. When the least trace of I-ness can be discarded, then one may proceed to understand Chitta. What is Chitta? Chitta is nothing but the storehouse of memories. These memories were formed by flashes of sense experience that were strung together in a shrinkala, a sequence. That sequence being formed by the very fundamental I thought, asmita. Without asmita, there is no sequence. This chitta is the habit pattern that enables us to return to the body and to function. This chitta also, idam namama. What remains after idam namama? All this was a play of Ma Shakti. She vibrates in the cosmic spanda, and then the mind, which has been trained for many practices, has been brought to rest and can now focus on Om. Ha, corresponding to the waking state. U, swapna avastha. Pragya, amatra. Now the mind, prepared as it is ready to take Atman towards Brahman as a target, using the power of Om. And the energy to perform that penetration is given by Ma Kundalini, Devi, Ma Shakti. The point of the focus is Bindu. When the Bindu is penetrated, there is no more I am. There is only amness. Amness is Sat, is being. That consciousness is Chit. The pleasure of Shakti meeting Shiva is Ananda. When returning from that state, the aspirant realizes that nothing has ever happened. There never was anything to happen. But because of the impurities in the mind that have been accumulated over many births, that awareness does not persist continuously. Just as moss or sedge or algae on a clear water will recollect if not cleaned through dhyana and samadhi, re-entering into the real world, the old habits will return. Therefore, constant vigilance and maintenance of their identity is necessary in order to reside abidingly in the truth and not fall prey to Maya, which is this play of existence. That is all there is to it.